Israel has agreed to the US's peace plan for Gaza. There are the usual things that you would expect from this peace plan. For example, Israel getting back all of its hostages, leaders of Gaza demilitarizing, and Israel not occupying Gaza. Also, someone else would take over. And that is the point of today's video. Who would lead Gaza if the war finished? During the plan's announcement, Trump said that an interim government would hold Gaza. They'd be called GITA or GITA, I don't know, GITA, that's short for Gaza International Transitional Authority. GITA would rule for a while, but not forever, hoping to offer a smooth handover to a new government one day in the foreseeable future, hence the word transitional. But by the West's standards, transitional can mean anything from a few days to decades. And who is on this mysterious board? Well, there are the usual suspects like Donald Trump himself and members of Trump's cabinet. But there is another name who would lead the charge, and it has raised eyebrows across the Middle East. That name is Tony Blair. Tony Blair is best known as the ex-Prime Minister of Britain who ruled the country for a decade, which is a long time by today's standards, from 1997 to 2007. But to many in the Middle East, he is a war criminal. Tony Blair joined George Bush at the time, the US president, for a war in Iraq, and that was a massive blow to Blair's legacy. What came after the war was accusations that Blair's war was illegal under international law. His political party, the Labour Party, would not win another election in Britain for over a decade. But Blair was a fan of the Middle East, and afterwards he established his own institute that went on to deal with names in the Middle East. He is therefore no stranger to the region, but a British politician controlling Palestine's fate again? For those in the Middle East, this has to be a joke, right? Many still complain of the Balfour Declaration. It was a declaration made in 1917 by the UK's then Foreign Secretary called Arthur Balfour. He promised British support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. For decades, supporters of Israel and supporters of Palestine have argued about who caused the conflicts between each other. You did it. No, you did it. And sometimes it's just easier to say, Britain did it. So, given the historical lessons, surely Tony Blair can't be a good idea, right? Well, the alternatives are dire. Trump had previously proposed big golden statues of himself, flashy hotels, and turning Gaza into a Riviera without Gazans. And comparatively, Gaza's current leaders have been in power since 2007. Its leadership has been stripped away following Israel's strikes, and Gaza's leaders are also wanted by the ICC for war crimes. Tony Blair is therefore the best of a very, very bad bunch. In fact, his institute started working on recovery plans for Gaza the day after Israel sent troops into Gaza. So Blair has been doing his homework. And under the plans, Blair would not expel people from Gaza, and those who left Gaza would have a right to return and get their property back, which is better than the previous options. The idea would be to stabilise and recover Gaza, with Arab states paying for the recovery. Blair also knows a lot of players in the game. His institute has been dealing with the Middle East for years. So while many complain about the implications of an ex-British Prime Minister ruling over Gaza, others say that it would be a safer set of hands. But it's impossible to know for sure. When I first heard the story of Blair ruling Gaza, it seemed too absurd to be true, and I didn't even bother reporting it. Sure, I believed Blair wanted Gaza, but it was hard to believe him getting it. Plans for the Gaza peace deal have now sped up, and it now feels right to report on this plot twist. A lot still hinges on the unknown. Would Gaza's leaders simply back down, and will the deal even get signed off in the first place? Israel's harder ministers are already complaining that the deal seems too soft. But even if it doesn't, Trump has officially mentioned Blair as a name in running Gaza. So it won't be the last time that we hear of this.